Good morning, my fellow frugalistas, although by the time this video goes out, it will probably be early evening, late afternoon time. Either way, I hope you are all doing great. We are plodding on in the house at the moment, plodding being the operative word with my dodgy leg. Getting better, slowly but surely. Got physio on Thursday, so fingers crossed that's going to help a bit. Anyway, if you have not been here before, this is the channel Trying to Get By, and my name is Samantha. And today I have got some videos of recipes that I have done over this past week. So it's a what we had for tea video. I have been still using up a lot of the stuff out of our freezer. So have a look and see what we cooked this week. So tonight's quick and easy meal. Quick as in there's not much to prepare, easy and again there's not much to prepare. So basically what I've done is I found one of my really not great looking packs of stir fry mix in the freezer. I've defrosted it, run it under some cold water, fine. I found this carrot soup that I made lurking in the bottom of the freezer a while back when I did my freezer video. I made this in February, so that is in my carrot soup video. I'll post a link to that below. And I thought, right, what can I make with this? I don't fancy soup. So we've got the stir fry mix. We've got a cabbage that I got from my Too Good To Go and some veggies. And literally, I've got some noodles in here. These, I just poured boiling water on them and forgot about them for 15 minutes till they were nice and soft, and then just put a load of cold water on them so they can just sit where they need to be. In here, the reason I've got the stir fry wok thing going is because if you know me well, you know I will make a mess with things, so I need a bigger pan as possible. So I'm literally just going to chop all that in there, some hot oil, and I'm going to get spatula. I'm going to go in with that. It looks a bit grim, but it's absolutely fine. I've used one before and it was tasty as. Just looks a bit dull in colour, which is why I put a bit of the fresh stuff in. If you can still hear me over the hissing and the spitting. So all I'm going to do is just cook this down for a few minutes on this really high heat, just to get it to however you like it. You know, if you want the super uber crunchy vegetables, do it for a few minutes and you sort it. If you want them softer, go for a bit longer. I am just going to cook these until I think they're near enough ready. I like them sort of like that midway between really, really crunchy and a little bit soft. So a few minutes for me for that. And I will leave that to do its thing and just toss it every minute or so. These are done. All I'm going to do is pour on my soup. Now this soup has got ginger and turmeric in it, which is why I knew this would be really nice with these flavours. So this is now my carroty ginger noodly sauce. There we go. It's another thing taken out of the freezer. All I'm going to do is just warm this up and then pop my noodles in and warm those up. We are absolutely steaming and hot with our veggies and our soup, and I'm just going to throw those noodles in and basically just mix these through. These won't take long at all. I will probably use a couple of things like that just to get it going, so everything is all nicely mixed together and super tasty. Let's give it a little taste and see how it is. It's really nice, not quite hot enough yet, but taste is absolutely lovely. You can taste the ginger, you can taste the turmeric. Whoops, sorry, just knocked you. And just wait for this to finish heating through. And I found some sesame seeds in the cupboard. So I think once this is done, I'm just going to tuck those on top. And that is tea for tonight. Well, I'm not 100% certain what I'm making here. I just know it's going to involve these vegetables because they've come out of the fridge. That's the other half of the cabbage that I used from yesterday. onion, red onion, because that's what I've got most of, mushrooms, because that's what I've got in. I've got the Instant Pot on saute, and I'm literally just going to throw all these in there and start off with this. So everything's just going to get a bit of a saute down, and then we're going to go and have a look in the fridge and the freezer, or mostly the freezer, and see what we've got to add to it. Give that a bit of a mix. So I'm just reaching for spatula. There we go. Let that do its thing. Let's go and have a look in the freezer. Okay, what we got? Oh, we got some leeks. We'll throw a bit of leek in there. What else we got? Celery. Yeah, that can go in. I don't fancy any root vegetables. I've already got cabbage in there. Yeah, that should be good. What we got behind the orange juice? We've got some mince up here, hiding in there. Right, I think we'll go and put some of those in and crack on. Okay, this is nice and steamy and cooking well. I'm just literally going to throw in a couple of hands of this celery and a good handful of the leeks. Just have a mix around. Just let that cook down again for a few minutes. Let it do its thing. I'm not even going to stand and watch it. I'm going to go and sit on a chair in the kitchen and get up every couple of minutes. Or I might just put, I might just put the chair next to this and just sit on the chair for a little bit while I am mixing, because it saves my legs and standing up. Well, that's just going to get going with that, and I'll put the other things back in the freezer. Okay, I'm sat on a chair next to this. It's quite comfy actually. So the mince I'm going to put in next. Now this is frozen vegetarian mince. I am not even going to bother defrosting it. I could possibly get told off by people for not doing that, but it's not meat mince, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm just going to peel off my paper backing first. I'm just going to chuck it in very unceremoniously and just leave that. In fact, I think I'm going to be ultra lazy. I am going to pour some water in here. This is boiling water from the kettle. I'm just going to pour some of that in. Push that down. And like I say, if this was proper meat mince, I wouldn't necessarily do this. I would have defrosted it first and sauteed it off. But it's not. So I'm not bothering. And I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to put it on slow cook for an hour, just to see how it goes. And then I'm going to come back, break up all the mince, because it'll be all defrosted and starting to be cooked by then. And then decide what I'm going to do with it and decide what flavours I'm going to add. Okay, 1 hour. There's the beeps. Right, I've just had the beeps, so I'm just going to have a quick look. Ooh, okay, that down in there. You can see the meat has done its thing. Yeah, broken up beautifully. Absolutely fine. Now it's time to add some other stuff. What do you reckon we should add? I'm thinking stroganoff-y typey flavours. Maybe some, yeah, I'm going to go with some paprika. And I think then I am going to go in with, oh, I'm not sure. Check the Pinterest. I'll be back. Okay, I've had a look on the Pinterest and just perused a few ideas, and now I'm just going to make up my own thing. So I'm going to go in with this. This is lovely. If you've not seen this before, this is mushroom ketchup. I have seen it in Tesco's. It's less than £2 a bottle. It's really great for adding flavour. And as we're going for mushrooms, we're going to go in with a bit of mushroom flavouring. Lots of recipes suggested Worcester sauce. Don't do Worcester sauce, but I do Henderson's relish. Really, really nice. So we're going with a few globs of that. Then a bit of parsley. This is some that I dried up in the oven a while back. I've got a spoon somewhere. I'm going to go in with some Dijon mustard. A good heaping teaspoon of Dijon mustard, because that is lovely. And we're going to give that a little bit of a mix. Okie dokie. Oh, the yellow on the camera looks really yellow, but it doesn't look yellow in the dish. Anyway, that's all nicely mixed up. It's possibly the lighting. Now, random thing I'm going to do to slightly thicken this and make this a little bit more saucy is, this is a cream of mushroom soup, cup of soup. I don't want to use corn flour and stuff, so I'm going to go in with this. There's my thickener. And it'll add some more mushroominess to it. So all I'm going to do now, that is done. I'm going to forget about this until I need it for tea, which won't be very long. I will just reheat it slightly if we need to. And I'm going to do it with some noodles. Not noodles like what we had last night, like pasta. I'm going to do it with pasta, because I do hear some people call them in noodles on some recipes. I mean pasta. I don't know what kind of pasta yet. I'm just going to have a root through the cupboard and see what we've got. So I've added the pasta to this, and in a traditional recipe you would add sour cream. I ain't got sour cream. I've got some mayonnaise and a bit of milk that I've just used just to finish off this jar. So that's going to add the creamy element to it. I've added a little bit of salt, a little bit of smoked paprika to this, and let's give it a taste. You know what? That's really quite nice. I'm quite impressed with that. Just shows you, mix stuff together, try it, see what happens. You never know, might turn out delicious. Right, I'm having another route around the freezer. Start at the top, protein. Right, I'm going to use these little cocktail sausages, I think. We're gonna, let me have a look. Oh, right, we've got a couple of chorizo style sausages. I think I'm going to use those. I have a bit of a, think I've got a bit of a plan. Let's move that leek out of the way, and we have got some sliced mixed greens. So we're going to go for that, and that at least reduces, do you know what? I'll use a bit of celery as well. And I'm going to need onion now. Can I get away with leek instead of onion? No, I'm going to use an onion. So, shut that, open that, have a root in here. Let's get an onion as well. Then, ninja over to the cupboard, and we have got, I know we've got some in here somewhere. Move all the beans back. I would love one of those roller systems where you could put a can in the top and it rolls and sends the other cans down. Saves me having to root. No, I don't want green lentils. Ah, there it is. There it is, hiding at the back. Here we go. Cannellini beans, white beans. We're going to make a beany, vegetable, sausagey, soupy thing. In fact, I think there's an Italian soup that is cabbagey and beany. That's where we're heading. So let's start putting all these things together. Okay, I've got my heat on in my lovely cast iron pan, which is great size and works really well. So I'm going to put my onion in first to start off with. I'm going to put in some of that leek, going crazy today. Some of the celery, frozen celery that I've got. Oh, that's cold. So I'm just going to put in a handful of that. Chris doesn't like celery, but he never knows when I just chuck a handful in at the base of something. He doesn't like raw celery, it's that stringiness. I can't blame him really. Now what I've done over here, while that's doing its little thing, is I've emptied the cabbage out, and I'm just having a quick look for pieces that have got you know, the really thick ribby part of the leaves, and I'm just kind of pulling that, breaking that off and pulling it out, and I've done most of it, so it should all be pretty good. Then what I'm going to do, oh, there's a big chunk of it. I am going to just attack it with a knife, just to chop it down a bit, because I don't want to be spooning up a great big piece of cabbage. So I'm going to chop that up, pop that in, and then I'm going to add my chopped up sausages. So let's get back to this, give it a little stir to get going, just soften those down, let them carry on, and I'll get chopping. This has just softened slightly, so I'm going to go in with all of that chopped up cabbage. There we go. There we go. So that'll cook down quickly. Sausages are just going in whole, my little ones. The chorizo sausages are bigger, so I am just going to chop these up into probably, let's see, about little bite-sized chunks. That sort of size. Those are going to go in a minute. I'm not going to put my beans in until near the end. I want to make sure that all this is heated through. So what I'm going to do is, I have boiled a kettle, and I have got my stock somewhere. Oh yeah, this is my veg stock from Unicorn Grocery. If you've not seen my video about Unicorn Grocery, take a look. It's really, really good. If you are in the northwest, particularly the Manchester region, check out Unicorn Grocery in Chorlton. I absolutely love it there. So that is some stock powder, which contains salt, potato starch, carrot, parsnip, onion, bell pepper, tomato, a little bit of oil, onion powder, herbs, including parsley, lovage, bay leaf, turmeric, ginger, nutmeg, peppers, and garlic powder. So it covers everything. So I'm going to get my kettle. I'm going to pour that on just to cover everything. Give it a little mix and a squash down. There we go. And I will just pop the lid on while I chop up my chorizo. This has just been bubbling away for a minute or two. I'm going to turn it down, add the chorizo. I'm only adding this because I think it'll taste nice. I'll just give it a little bit of warmth to it. Now I want to add some other herbs. So to have a look up here, I have been drying off some herbs. We've got some rosemary, we have got some oregano, we've got a little bit of sage ready for Christmas, we have some mint, and we have a little bit more rosemary. So I am going to go for some of the oregano and some of the rosemary. So I'm going to cut those down and give them a chop, and then pop those in too. There we go, all homegrown herbs chopped up. So that's our oregano and rosemary. It was about a teaspoon in total for the two. I'm going to sprinkle those in. I love the smell of rosemary, it's absolutely gorgeous. So now all I'm going to do is just leave this on a really low simmer. Now my beans are my cannellini beans in water. I'm probably not going to use the water from this, but it says in a saucepan, empty the contents in a saucepan, heat gently for 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm just not going to bother putting these in until right near the end when we need to, because otherwise they're going to end up turning to absolute mush. And I do not want that at all. If I was doing it in a slow cooker or something like that, I'd probably put them in about an hour before the end. But yeah, I'm just going to leave that. Have a little taste. See how the flavours are. That's nice. Chris will probably want a good crack of black pepper in there, because he's a bit of a pepper fan. But we'll just leave that on a low simmer for a while, because those sausages are going to take a little while to defrost completely and to finish cooking through. Good thing about this is you can put it on the lowest heat possible, and keeping the lid on just traps all that heat in nicely. So I'm ready to put the beans in now. So I've just drained off the water for the cannellini beans. I'm just going to throw them in. You can probably hear Smarty in the background. And if you hear cupboards opening and things, it's because Chris is getting biscuits for him. So that is all of our cannellini beans in there. That is looking really quite hearty. I'm going to put in just a little splash of extra liquid. That's just some from the boiled kettle. And this just now needs to warm through so that the beans are all nicely warmed. So I'm just going to pop a lid on, and that will be ready in about 3 minutes. Beans are all done now. Everything's ready. I'm just going to turn the heat off and do a final tasting of everything. Get some of that chorizo style stuff on there. This is lovely and hearty, and it's probably quite hot, so give me a second to do the blowing. That is excellent, if I do say so myself. Really good, really hearty. That'll be tea for tonight, and that'll be my lunch tomorrow. Really, really good. Just have a look at what you've got in your cupboards. You never know what you can throw together. Brilliant. So 3 different recipes using up what we've got in the freezer and the fridge, and just have a go. Have a root inside your fridge and freezer. See what lurks at the back. You never know what you might find that might be useful in one of your dishes for your dinner this week. That's the way I've been doing it this week. It's just, what have I got? Pick it all out, throw it together, and it works. You just got to think of what sort of herbs and spices might go well with them. That carrot soup stir fry we had was amazing. I couldn't believe how well those flavours worked together. The stroganoff style thing in the crock pot, absolutely fabulous. And I have to think my favourite was got to be the sausage, cabbage, soup, stew, whatever you want to call it. All those dishes were really, really good. Have a think about what you've got. Let me know in the comments if you're going to have a look at what's lurking in the freezer this week and what you could possibly do with those. We are reducing what we got in the freezer. However, last night I did an oleo haul. Well, Chris went out and collected it for me. So we've topped up the freezer with a few extra bits of veg and stuff. So we'll be starting again to a certain degree. So let's see what's coming up in the next couple of weeks of different recipes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.